Thank you so much for that daily word. That daily word, I was just talking to my brother-in-law and my sister um, over the last several weeks. I've been talking about how important it is for um, my brother-in-law to show my sister more love, to demonstrate more love. I actually asked him during one of the Hope Church Zooms. Well, we don't actually do Zooms at Hope Church, it's just everyone's on the phone. But I asked my brother in law uh, in front of the church at a church service, how are you treating my sister? Because she has cancer. It's metastasized into her hip bone, and she has a lot of challenges going on. And I happen to know from observing their relationship over the last close to 30 years that that's been a missing piece in her life. And I noticed that whenever I've spoken to him about it, he always responds over the years with, "Oh, Pastor, I have to tell you that every single moment, every single morning, I go to my prayer closet where I have my time alone with the Creator, and I ask my Creator to please allow me to demonstrate more love to my significant other, that being your sister. I ask God every morning in my prayer closet to please allow me to be more compassionate, to be more caring, and to do more for her. And I'm waiting for the answer. So far, I have not become more compassionate. I'm still reactionary. But I trust that at one morning, God will answer my request. So I know that you're concerned about your sister. You're concerned about her condition right now. You have threatened to kidnap her and bring her to live with you and Timothy and Karen and Sienna so that she can be bathed in love from the moment she wakes up until the moment she goes to sleep, so that Timothy and you and Karen can do for her what Timothy did for you when you had your accident. About Timothy, you said, you will never read a book or see a movie or a living demonstration of such care, such compassion, such attention, and such devotion as Timothy gave to you. I know you want that for your sister from me. And I have to tell you, I will keep getting up in the morning. Every morning, I will ask God to please allow me to be that for your sister. I said to him, either God is impotent and has no power, or you are not really sincere in your request to change. Because all you have to do is want to. You can't just ask God and wait for an answer, wait for God to change you. You have to change you. You have to be the living demonstration of the love of God. And it has to begin with yourself and then outpicture and be extended to those closest to you. And my brother-in-law said to me, you know how it is, Pastor. You know we always hurt the ones we love. I said, I know. I heard that bogus statement as a child. I believed it was a lie when I heard it, and I still do. We don't always hurt the ones we love. And all you have to do is want something. A Course in Miracles says that when all you want is peace, you will have it. And you won't have it until it's all you want. You won't have a demonstration in yourself of someone under the influence of Christ consciousness until you really want it with all of your heart, all of your soul, all of your mind, and all of your strength. My sister has said that some of my interventions with my brother-in-law have made a difference, and she has commissioned me not to stop. She said, every time you talk to him, I want you to ask him, how are you treating my sister? Are you loving her? Are you being kind and compassionate with her? And he says what he says. But she said, I want you to know that it does make some difference. And she said, and the difference started being made when you publicly started asking him in front of the church. He jokingly said to me, your brother Carlos, my pastor, is outing me in front of Hope Church. He's letting Hope Church know that I'm not very kind to you, that I'm not very helpful, and that generally when you're struggling, even on your walker, to get to the bathroom and say, I need some help, I will respond with, girl, you know you can do that yourself. How much do you think I can give in terms of time and energy to your condition? When my mother cut the sound off, okay, awesome. Where was I? When my mother had cancer, my mother wanted nothing more on Sundays than after church to have her children have lunch with her. She told us countless times that I want this more than I want anything. You can't give me a precious gift for Christmas or for my birthday or for Mother's Day that means as much to me as just having lunch on Sunday after church with my family. Now, Timothy and I always availed ourselves to have lunch with Mom. We knew it's what she wanted, and we wanted to give her what she wanted. My sisters, on the other hand, when church was done, wanted just to be with their significant others and go to a restaurant of their choice and have cocktails, which they didn't want to have in front of Mom because they felt she was judging them about it. At any rate, when Mom got cancer, Mom begged my sisters. She had me and Tim beg my sisters, once a month, could you have lunch with Mom? On one special day to her, she said, beg them, make them come, tell them to meet us at Chili's and have lunch with their mom. And so Timothy and I begged our sisters, and they just said, that girl's going to be okay. I said, Mom said to tell you she has cancer. She was diagnosed with cancer. That should make you change what you're doing. It should make you automatically want to give her what she wants. And my sister says, that girl's going to be okay. That girl ain't going nowhere. She's moving through this cancer. When we got to lunch and after we had ordered, my mom broke down in tears. My mom said, you would just think that if your life is at risk, if there's a possibility that you might die, you would think that people who care about you would demonstrate how much they care about you. It breaks my heart. I told Brother Keith, I told my brother-in-law, if Rhonda, having been diagnosed with cancer and gone through chemo for months and then having the chemo not work, and now they've told her to get her affairs in order and to get her will together, and that they're trying immunotherapy, but it is the last thing on the list, is that not a motivation for you to be kind and considerate? He once again said, like I told you, Pastor, I go to my prayer closet every morning asking God to help me with my attitude, asking God to help me from being so reactive, asking God to allow me to put some of what I want to do on the back burner so that I can be there for your sister. And I'm waiting for God to answer. And so, as I told you before, I said to him in front of the church with everyone listening, either God is impotent and can do nothing, or you don't really want what you're asking for. I just know that about my life. If I'm asking God for something to motivate me into being more loving and more kind, more charitable, if I'm asking God to inspire me to extend my overflow of my money after my bills and taking care of what I need to do, to extend my money to help someone who has less than I am, and I'm not doing it, it's not because God is failing and God hasn't gotten to me yet. It's because I don't yet really, really want to change. I don't really, really want to grow. Some of us think we want to change and we want to grow when that's not really what's going on in the depths of us. Some of us want to hold on to the story of our pain. We want to hold on to the story of our confusion. We want to hold on to the story of our victimization more than we want to be free. In the scriptures, there's a story that's one of my favorites. It's an account of a man who was lame, a man who could not walk. And he had heard that there was a healing pool, and that the first one who gets into this pool, the angels would stir up the waters. They would trouble the water with spirit. And the first one to get in would be the person that got healed that year. One year, he had done this for 38 years. For 38 years, he dragged himself on his cot to the edge of the pool, hoping this year I will be the first one to get into the pool, have the angels trouble the water in my behalf, and I will finally be healed. This day, he was approached by a shining being, by someone who was shining like the sun. He knew that this must be the one he had heard about, because the word was out about him all over the valleys and in the towns. His name was Yeshua. Yeshua approached this man. The man, knowing that this was the one he had heard about with healing power, the power of God in him, got so excited as he laid on his cart, knowing that this one, this Yeshua, would get him into the troubled waters so that he could be healed. Well, Yeshua did approach him, came over to him, squatted down. The guy thought he was squatting down to lift him up, to take him to the water, but he didn't reach out for him. He didn't lift him up. He just looked in the guy's eyes and he said, "Do you want to be whole? Will you be made whole?" And the guy did what a lot of us do. He said, "Sure, I want to be whole, but nobody will help me. Nobody will pick me up and get me in the water. Everyone's interested in their own healing. People actually step over me to get into that water. I've got no one to help me. I'm waiting on God to help me get in that water." Jesus asked him again, "Do you want to be whole?" The guy says, "Of course I want to be whole." The same answer we give. Of course I want to be whole. But then we do the same thing that the guy did, was we give our reasons and our alibis and our excuses for not being whole. And generally it has to do with outside agents or agencies. Nobody will help me. Nobody will pick me up. Nobody cares about me. Everybody's after their own healing. No one at all will help me get mine. So at that point, he thought, now Jesus knows what I want, and he'll pick me up and get me in the water. But Jesus just stood up straight, looked at the man who had answered the question, "Do you want to be whole?" Jesus said, "Get up." The guy thought he was crazy. Get up. If you want to be whole, get up. He thought that Jesus was crazy, or that Yeshua was crazy in some sort of a mysterious way. But the fact that he was just looking him in the eye, saying, if you want to be whole, get up, triggered something inside him. This guy believed he could get up, whereas the man did not believe he could. But on the power of Yeshua's believing he could, the guy stood up. He stood up. He had not stood for 38 years, but he stood up then, and he could hardly believe it. And Yeshua said to him, now, take up your bed and walk. Meaning, take up this demonstration of your powerlessness, put it over your head, and walk through town, letting everybody know, look what I have been freed from. The interesting thing about this is that he never once put a toe in the water. It was said that the healing pool had the power to heal, that on a certain day, the angels would trouble the water and the first one in would be whole. So now here we are in the story, seeing for ourselves that his toe never touched the water and the angels had nothing to trouble or stir up. It was simply a belief system that he was up against. It was believing that the power was outside of him, believing that the power only happened once in a while, in this case, one time every year, through a process of getting into this water. But it was just the word, do you want to be whole? If so, get up. As A Course in Miracles said, if peace is what you want, one of its terms says, peace is all I want. And Yeshua says, if you say that with sincerity, if it is all you want, peace will overwhelm you. You will be so filled with peace, it will be like a cup running over. You will have to extend peace to others. So I gave my brother-in-law and my sister an assignment way back when they first visited me in the hospital after my accident. I gave them an assignment. I said, I want you to do in your house what we do in ours. And what is that, Pastor? I said, we fill our days speaking endearments to one another. We spend our days asking, is there anything I can do for you right now? What would be helpful to you right now? We call each other by pet names. We say to each other, thank God for you in my life. Or you know what? I would be lost without you. Or you're terrific. Or why does God love me so much that he gave me you as my brother, or you as my sister-in-law, or you as my niece? God must love me very much. We yell from one bedroom to another, sweet endearments all day long. I told my sister and my brother-in-law, you can't think of anything more fun. It takes you over. It becomes an obsession, and it is a magnificent obsession to just demonstrate your love, demonstrate your endearments, demonstrate your caring. If you can't do that for your significant other, don't blame it on God. Don't blame it on your early childhood programming. Don't blame it on your mental synapses. Don't blame it on your busyness and how overwhelmed you are with the cares and troubles of the world and your job and this or that or the other, or I have a headache, or I don't feel good enough today. If you don't do it, it's because you don't want to do it. At the deepest pieces of your heart and mind, you don't want to. So I checked in on them. How are you guys doing with that assignment? that I gave you in the hospital 2 days after my car accident, when they were wondering whether I was going to be able to walk or how, or whether I was ever going to have a normal life again. And you both nodded your heads so big. We'll do that for you, Pastor. We'll do that for you. Have you done it? My brother-in-law said, well, she did it for maybe about a month. And then because I wasn't doing it, she stopped doing it. And I said, what a waste of living time. What a waste of breathing time. We are not here to stay. Life is precious and it goes by so fast. And some of us think that when we are broken and when we are suffering, that sometimes people who have not been compassionate to us will suddenly be, and many times they won't. But I just want all of you to take on my assignment. I know we're in COVID now, and I know some of us are in the house by yourself, but I know that you have communications like through other means, through television, through telephone and through Zooms and through calls and through emails. What I shared with my sister and my brother-in-law is one of the pearls of great price. Make it your high to be channels for the outpour of such love that you blow everybody's mind. I have a reputation in every grocery store in this town, at every gas station in this town, at every place of business in this town. Here he comes. That guy's a brightener. That guy is mind-blowing. He doesn't even know me, but he loves me. Oh my God, love those God has given you to love. That's going to be everybody you encounter, everywhere you go. But begin with your intimates. The best thing about almost dying and not dying is being still alive to live with higher purpose, being still alive to love more, because love is the answer, whatever the question. Love is the solution, whatever the seeming problem. To be love is to be God, because God is love. And the reason why you and I were born was to be God, to be love, to be the light of the world. It is so fun. It is so fun. The best thing about actually dying and self-resurrecting is I have more opportunity to speak words of endearment. I have more opportunity to be uplifting. I have more opportunity to expand my compassion. I have more opportunity to allow each and every person that encounters my field to feel the precious, healing, uplifting love of God. Because if God's going to show up on planet Earth, it has to be through me. If God is going to speak to anyone, it has to be through my mouth. Don't buy into the bogus lie, we always hurt the ones we love. It is a lie indeed. If God has blessed you with a significant other, count yourself blessed. Extend everything in you to let them know how precious they are, to let them know how much you cherish them. My sister said to me, she brought that word back to me. She said, Carlos, it dawned on me the kind of love you have for all of us and the kind of love you have for me. She said, it's like being cherished. It's like I am your most precious thing in the world. Right now, before service happened here, my brother-in-law called me to let me know that he's following the ambulance, rushing my sister to the hospital. He gave me some little, try to catch me up on all the things that are happening. But he just said, you need to, I believe you should, after your service with Brookline, come over to the hospital because there are several things going on here. And I had one thought. I don't know who he is going to be when he enters that hospital, but I know who I'm called upon to be. I don't know how he's going to treat my sister. I know how I'm going to treat her. I don't know how Tim's going to treat his wife. I know how I know how I'm going to treat her. I don't know how his wife's going to treat him. I know how I'm going to treat him. I don't know how they're going to treat their daughter. I know how I'm going to treat her. If not me, who? If not now, when? I'm going to keep voting for what I want and choosing for what I get. I'm voting right now very strongly that these are not the ends of my sister's days. But I have prayed that prayer and voted for that with many others, well, every single other in my nuclear family, praying that this was not their time for the end of their days when it turned out to be. I've discovered something. I'm voting with all my heart, but if it is their time, I must choose what I get. Because if I vote for what I want and something else occurs, I'm left with a letdown. I'm left with a disappointment. And I'm left with a grievance. I'm left believing God failed me and that life isn't fair. So immediately, after voting for what I want, I choose what I get. By choosing what I get, I am not arguing with the universe, saying something else should have happened. I'm being here now, present. Thank you, Brother Bob. Thank you, whoever wrote today's Daily Word, all about love, because I've just been filled with that since my brother-in-law called me and said he's following an ambulance. Just over and over, I love that girl. I love that girl so much. That girl has been with me 2 years shy of my own lifetime. I'm about to have completed 69 years of the earth circling the sun in this incarnation as of October 16th. I would love to have a long life. I'll vote for that, but then I'll need to choose what I get. But boy, am I glad that in that ambulance and in that hospital room, my sister has one thing she can know and hold on to. My brother Carlos doesn't just love me, he cherishes me. Offer that gift to those who are significant others in your life, and then extend it to the people in the grocery stores, and the person who pumps your gasoline, and the people you encounter in the street. Once more, whatever the question, love is the answer. Whatever the seeming problem, love alone is the solution. If you want more love, you've got to give more love away, that it might be pressed down, shaken together, running over, and returned right back to you. The theme today is love and the preciousness of life and our calling to be God. God is invisible, dressed up in your body. Thank you for your listening.
Because he just finished up.
You're up, Fred.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We're going to do a heart and soul song dedicated to those who have suffered with COVID-19. Not too long ago, I lost a cousin to the disease, and I just want to send this out to folks that are suffering currently, and also to the families who have lost loved ones. Joining me today are my children. Denise Woodard, you already know her from before, because she played at the church for quite some time. She's now a student at Howard University, but is this semester doing all of her classes online. And then the other person you may not have met is my son, Frederick, and he's gonna be playing violin. So here we go, and the song we're gonna do is Amazing Grace.